Did Disney make a good live action film? Hello storytellers and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Lauren. I'm an actress, teacher and all-round storyteller. This is my wonderful husband Daniel and we're here sharing our adventures in parks, pages and pixels. Today's a movie review. It's long overdue and it is Lilo and Stitch live action 2025. Daniel, why did you pick this movie?
I mean, we picked this movie because we both enjoyed the original when we were younger.
Yeah.
Like, you know, let's not get on the bush. Both love the original. Yeah. Great film.
Absolutely brilliant. If you guys have been on the channel for a while, you know I've got a whole shelf. It's right behind my chair. I'm not going to move now, but it's dedicated to Stitch.
You know, and Disney are going through their phase of taking all the films we loved as children and ruining them as live actions, you know? So let's see if they did the same here again.
Yeah, I was intrigued. The trailer for it made me more interested than I thought I would be. Because in my mind, Disney have got a habit of taking the original story and then completely changing it. Or taking the story and keeping it exactly word for word. And neither seems to be working for them.
Yeah, so, you know, some things that they've literally like recreated scene for scene, image for image. I think, was Lion King quite bad for that? I can't remember. Or was Lion King one of the ones that changed? I feel like Lion King was...
So Beauty and the Beast is a good example. Literally all the lines are the same except this one scene where we get to find out what happened to Belle's mum. But otherwise you could take both scripts and they are 95% identical.
Right, exactly.
Which some of the dialogue coming from I was going to say a real life person. It's still a real life person, it's just not an animated cartoon with it. It makes it feel a little bit disjointed.
Whereas like Dumbo, I feel, was quite different to the original.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was very different. But I really enjoyed Dumbo. There's some live actions I've really enjoyed, but I do agree with the majority vote, which is the live actions are...
They don't hold up to the original.
Yeah, they're not as good as the originals. So that's why we picked this film.
Yeah.
It's kind of obvious. It's a Disney channel. I love Disney. The synopsis and the advertisement. Like I've mentioned just moments ago, the trailer for me was quite strong. Because again, although it felt like they were keeping to the original story quite a lot, you could see there was little bits they had changed. And right before we went to see the film, which was only 2 days after it was released, something like that, there'd already been spoilers online about certain characters that got cut and a change in plot that people have not
reacted well to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was even more intrigued then because I wanted to see what it was specifically that everyone was so up in arms about. You've got the synopsis on your phone, don't you?
Yes. I searched for a synopsis. We don't get much of one. The very simple one that it comes up with is Stitch, an extraterrestrial entity, comes to planet Earth after he escapes his prison, where he tries to impersonate a dog. Things take a turn when Lilo adopts him from an animal shelter. That could be the synopsis for either film.
Yeah.
It's, you know...
I think they've deliberately kept it vague.
Yeah.
I think they've done that deliberately. So would I say the synopsis it gives is a good descriptor of what it is? Yes, for the first maybe 30 minutes of the film.
Yeah. Because
it doesn't explain or give any detail about what happens or the chaos that ensues or XYZ. So I would say the synopsis they used to advertise it could have alluded a little bit more to like the chaos that Stitch brings.
The other thing is, I've got this synopsis for the original up as well.
Oh, that's much longer.
One, it's much longer, and two, it still fits the story either way because the synopsis is vague enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't mention, you know, specific characters whose roles change.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, go for it.
So, a tale of young girls' close encounter with the galaxy's most wanted extraterrestrial. Lilo is a lonely Hawaiian girl who adopts a small, ugly dog whom she names Stitch. Stitch would be the perfect pet if he weren't in reality a genetic experiment who had escaped from an alien planet and crash-landed on Earth. Through her love, faith, and unwavering belief in Ohana, the Hawaiian concept of family, Lilo helps unlock Stitch's heart and gives him the ability to care for someone else. That is a great synopsis.
That is the story of Lilo and Stitch, and that is the story of both versions.
Yeah, it applies to both, which makes me wonder, why did they do such a short job?
I don't know.
For the modern one. Was it because they don't really play much of a part in selling it? Who knows? Genre, themes, and target audience. Ohana family. It's definitely got themes of loss, of feeling other.
So feeling excluded, feeling other, and creating your own path and your own family is kind of the main themes of Lilo and Stitch. And again, that's true for both films.
I do feel like the message about the importance of family was stronger in the original.
Yeah, and we'll come on to why. Some of the complaints people have had and what we do and don't agree with.
Yeah. I just feel like they've missed that theme, and that was kind of the dramatic message of the whole thing, was this importance of family.
Yeah.
And they've completely deviated from that with this film. So in terms of the themes, they are still there from the original to now, but they're slightly different. Genre-wise, animated. Oh no, not animated. It's live action. It kind of is animated as well, because Stitch isn't live action.
The genre is
children's.
A comedy, children's,
family friendly,
fantasy, slice of life,
sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are your genres.
And in terms of target audience, 3+.
Yeah, I'd say this is still appropriate for children.
Yeah, there's some bigger topics in it that definitely the older grown-ups would understand more, particularly when it comes to American healthcare and insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like overall it's still a good film for
children,
all the kids.
Yeah.
So characters and performance. So as this is a live action, it means we actually now have actors to judge. And
beyond just their voice.
And judge I will. I'm a drama teacher, so this is my bread and butter. This is my forte. I feel like the little girl who played Lilo, whose name I'll insert here because I can't remember off the top of my head, I think she was exceptional. Yeah,
Lilo was great, and
definitely a standout character and
performance.
Actor.
Yeah. Lilo was fantastic. While we're on Lilo, I'd also like to mention Nani, who I thought she mostly played the role quite well. Although I have seen a few side-by-side comparisons where she maybe didn't emote quite as intensely as the original.
Yeah.
But I felt like the actress was fine.
Yeah, fine is the best word for it.
Yeah.
In terms of like the other actors and characters around Lilo and Nani, some of the acting was a little questionable, but I'm trying to debate if that's because they changed the character line so much for the secondary characters. So this is where the spoilers start. So if you don't want spoilers, I'm really sorry. Thank you for coming, but I can't not explain this without spoiling some of it. But you would have seen it online anyway. So some characters got cut. For example, Captain Gontu.
Yeah.
Who is the original villain.
Yes.
Who is pursuing Stitch. Whereas Jumba and Pleakley, although they are also pursuing Stitch, you get that kind of friendly, dumb sidekick vibes from them. And that they're trying, but it's not succeeding. It's not working.
They're much more like Jessie and James from Pokemon, or anything that has like a recurring villain. Where the villain is primarily there for a gag. Having said that, I feel like people misremember the first one in that Jumbo was like a genuine threat for a while.
Yeah.
But the kind of themes of the story lent themselves to Jumbo and Pleakley coming around to their side and becoming more friendly and being more of a family unit where they're all different. And then that meant that the story would then lose its villain. So that's when Guntu had to Guntu.
Yeah.
Guntu.
He was still part of the villain story in Stitch the movie.
Yeah.
So how that differs with this film is that Guntu's not there. He doesn't exist. There is already talks that Lilo and Stitch 2 will be happening, and that is where we meet Guntu. So I'd be intrigued to see if that is true and what happens with that. So in this, it is set up that Jumba, the whole way through, is the villain. He is the evil scientist through and through. There's no redemption, no redeeming story arc. He is a villain, and he is going against not only Stitch and Ohana, he's going against the Alien Council as well. And because of that, it means that his character and Pleatley's character, they don't actually get any story progression, any character progression.
The other thing, of course, is that Jumba and Pleatley they take human form throughout quite a lot of the film, and it's given a reason in the film, and the reason does kind of make sense. It actually kind of makes you feel like in the original, like maybe something like that should have happened rather than just disguises, but
just aliens in drag.
But the original disguises were funny,
yeah,
and B, that's not the reason they've done it in this film. They've done it in the film because of budget constraints.
In the original as well, they kind of do it because that's the only idea they've got. And that kind of adds to the tomfoolery of it all. And with this, you lose that. You lose the comedy aspect of those characters. But that being said, I do think the worst character, the most diluted character, the character that upset me the most was David. Yeah. What was that? Him and Nani have like no relationship. Mm-hmm. There's not even a hint of one. There's a hint he likes her and that's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't assist with anything particularly big. And I feel like he has less lines than in the original. I get that Disney are kind of going through this phase where they're cutting out the romance of their stories, and I get why they're doing it. Sort of. I like the classic romances, so maybe I'm biased. But it does feel like they just completely washed out his character. He was there for the sake of saying he was there. Maybe if they do a Lilo and Stitch 2, there'll be more of him. But it did feel like they wasted their time having David in this.
The other thing I would say about David, though, is the actor who played him was actually quite good as him with the very limited amount of script he got.
Yeah.
I thought he was actually quite good as him, but they gave him very little to work with.
Yeah, so in terms of the characters and the changes they made to the character lineup, personally, I'm not a fan. In terms of the acting, it was good, but because they limited some of the characters and took away some of the comedy from the characters, it meant the actors had less to play with. So I wouldn't say it's the actors' fault per se. I think they did the best with what they had, which is a sign of a good actor. It's just so disheartening to see that when you know you've got such a phenomenal cast.
Yeah.
Who should have a bigger impact. So now we're going to talk about our least and most favourite moments or scenes from the film. This means we are going to go into a little bit of the plot and the changes that have been made, or at least I know I will with the stuff that's my least favourite. Have you got a favourite?
Yeah, so there's some actually quite entertaining action sequences in it. The car chase sequence is quite good. The stuff on the ship was quite entertaining. I would say though probably my favourite scene was in the dance school quite early on when Lilo is waiting for Nani to show up.
Yeah. She's sat outside on the step, isn't she?
Yeah, that whole kind of sequence I thought was really good. Maybe it's more than one scene technically, but that kind of sequence there I thought was really well done.
I'll be honest, I think my favourite parts of the whole thing were any reference to the Hawaiian culture. I feel like they did that really well, and so it made it feel quite realistic. Comedy wise, the dinner scene is quite good. I will be honest, I'm kind of struggling for like a standout favourite moment. there's like lots of little bits that kind of made me smile and giggle. Like when Stitch is going around the island on the, instead of stealing her bike, they steal her motorised kiddie car.
Yeah.
So them going around like the actual island of Hawaii, maybe it's just because I've always wanted to visit and I love the look of it all. That brought me a lot of joy. And I'd say the way they've animated Stitch is actually quite good as well.
They took notes from the people who did Sonic.
Yeah. In terms of least favourite.
So for me...
Yeah.
Do you want me to go first again?
Yeah, you go first.
And I don't want to steal your thunder because I might have your same scene.
It's fine. That means we agree.
It's the ending. It's actually more specifically, it's I think it was actually like the post-credit or mid-credit scene when Nani travels back to see Lilo. So is the other scene I'm referencing, is the ending also yours?
Mine is that whole story arc with Nani.
Okay.
So the whole thing, it boils my blood.
So Nani leaves Lilo at the end of this and goes off to university or whatever it is.
Yeah, she leaves Hawaii to go do marine biology.
Yeah.
Which that is referenced right at the beginning of the film, that's what she was meant to go off and do, but then their parents died, and then she quit school, she quit going, she looked after Lilo, she got a job, and she's trying to like step up, but the whole way through it feels like Nani doesn't really want to be doing it, and there's so many people telling her this isn't good for Lilo, you need to go back to college, blah blah, and eventually she does. So after this whole time where they're building up like Ohana means family, we need to stick together, she just dumps Lilo with the neighbour.
And leaves. Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
And there was a reason as well that sort of led her to do it, wasn't there? Because, so when Lilo goes in the water during surfing, in the original one they just get her out and they hug her and she's okay. In this one she has to go to hospital.
Yeah, she nearly drowned.
And so then they had to have the conversation of medical bills. And obviously Nani doesn't have insurance. She's, just figuring out how to look after this kid and get a job and stuff. And so they basically state that if Lilo was part of the welfare system, her medical bills are paid for them.
Yes.
So if Nani surrenders Lilo, all the medical's paid off. But it does mean surrendering Lilo. And it should have been a straight up no. And then maybe, okay, we debate, blah, blah. But in this, she kind of just sits like, okay.
Yeah, and...
She just seems so unbothered.
The fact that you mentioned that the American healthcare system was part of the plot of this film, the American healthcare system wins. Like, it's presented early on as kind of a villainous, like, system. And then it wins, And Lilo ends up getting taken away. And now when I say it wins, Lilo ends up with the next door neighbour.
Who she's known her whole life.
Yeah. And...
she spends nearly every day with anyway.
Yeah, and Nani has a teleportation gun that she gets off Pleakley that she can go and visit Lilo whenever she wants, right? Having said all of that, it's still dumb, right? And actually, I'm kind of more annoyed at the teleportation gun and coming back because it's too convenient. Like, if that's the story we're telling, let's tell that story.
Yeah.
If the difference is between this and the original, that if they do a sequel, it's the kind of heartache for Nani not being able to look after Lilo.
Yeah.
And then her going through the system of getting her sister back. Right? And then the second film could follow Nani more than it follows Lilo.
Yeah.
Right? There could have been something there. Right? But it's all kind of very convenient, bow wrapped on it. Having said that, the film introduced 2 new characters that weren't in the original that I can think of. Right? So it splits Cobra Bubble into 2 people.
Yes, it starts with your generic social worker.
Yeah.
And then Cobra Bubble comes in when they believe there's an extraterrestrial life form.
Yeah. And then the other character is David's like mother or auntie.
Grandmother.
It's
David's grandmother, yeah.
Right.
Who's the next door neighbour.
Yeah. who Lilo ends up with.
Yeah.
Right, these are two original characters for these films. For this film, right?
I feel like both work, both are fine. The original social worker was in it for like one scene.
Yeah, so
And that was it.
the new social worker, I felt was completely unneeded. They've just paid someone a wage you didn't need a wage. All right?
Which, that being said, give actors work. So, like, I'm not mad at that bit.
Yeah, but...
I'm more like, that part didn't really need to happen. Like, you could have just kept Cobra Bubbles as a social worker who comes in because this is a highly important case, who then gets the call to say there's extraterrestrial, and so he has to equip his old training, or, like, do you know what I mean? They could have made on more of his past in his character.
Yeah, either that or...
It also makes his character come across as quite shady and villainous.
Yeah.
Whereas in the first one, he definitely felt like that kind of caring social worker vibe. Whereas in this, it felt like a ruse.
I'm pretty sure in the first one he wasn't actually a social worker. Though. That was all. A
It
ruse.
was all still a lie and a ruse. But no, he was a social worker. He was, because he comes before she gets Stitch.
Okay.
Because then he tells him, says, "Heard you lost your job." And then you see Stitch, and he's like, "What is that thing?" And that's when his old training.
Right.
And then when he sees the High Empress, she goes, "You look familiar." And he's like, 1980, whatever. And she goes, "Ah, you had hair then."
Yes.
I know my Lilo and Stitch.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the new social worker. So I didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
David's grandmother.
I love her as a character.
Great character.
Fantastic addition. It adds a lot of potential depth for David's character.
Yeah, and the other thing about her is it makes some of the kind of missing information in the original make more sense, in that how is Nani caring for Lilo and working long hours? Well, actually, she's getting help from her next door neighbour.
From her next door neighbour, yes.
Yes, who is David's grandmother, right? And that also would explain why David and her are close, you know, beyond other than that they grew up together, you know, that, well, they've become close again because David's grandmother, who David lived with, you know,
it all links slightly better with that character.
Yeah.
She was a positive addition.
The actress was great as well.
Yeah. Who would we recommend it to? Would we recommend it? I would, but if it was to someone who I know is a big Disney fan, I would give the caveat of be prepared for some changes you might not be happy with. If it's someone who's never seen the films, I'd be like, yeah, crack on.
See, I'm kind of the opposite. I would recommend it to anyone who has seen the original, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone who hasn't. Because I don't think this is the authentic Lilo and Stitch experience. I think the original still is.
Yeah, what I meant is I'd recommend both. I'd say go watch both.
Yeah.
I agree with you. If someone hadn't seen either of them and they only were interested in watching the live action, I'd be like...
You might as well skip it.
Maybe don't. Maybe don't.
Because the strengths of the film, I'll be honest with you, were all the bits that made me feel like the original.
Yeah. Would we watch it again? I would, but not in a rush.
I'd watch it again if they announce a sequel, or if a sequel becomes close.
Yeah. I will be honest, I'd be more tempted to watch the original.
Yeah.
That I would probably go back and watch again and again.
The original feels like something I'd watch once a year. This feels like something I would watch if there was a sequel to this coming out.
Yeah, and we were talking about it recently that I didn't grow up with like the Disney Channel or anything, so I've never seen the Lilo and Stitch series, and I would be intrigued to watch that. So I might end up watching the film again if I watch the series again in the next few months. Did it change our perspective on anything, or did it leave a lasting impact? I feel like it really highlighted how screwed the American healthcare system is. Yeah. So I do feel like that was successful in sending that message to the world of, this is going to cost you a lot of money, you've got no insurance.
Is that the point of the film, though? It's
not. The point of the film is meant to be all about Ohana and coming together and supporting each other.
Yeah.
It does do, but doesn't do.
It does, and it shows Ohana for a wider community than the original, but like a human community, whereas the original has a lot more different
alien community,
and different people who are very different to one another. Whereas this, it brings David and his grandmother and Lilo and Stitch and Nani together, right?
Yeah. Do you think it's changed your perspective?
Of life? No.
No.
Of the film? Not particularly.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with all of this being said, star rating out of 5. What do you think?
I would say it is a 2.5, slap bang in the middle. It was a fine experience, and I would say it was nothing more than that, which is a shame because some very good actors who did very well in their roles were let down by story changes and limitations. Yeah.
I'm with you. I think the nostalgia is making me lean more towards 3. But no, you're right. It's a 2.5. It is an average film. Don't get me wrong, this is still one of the better live actions they've made.
Yeah.
But it's still not good.
It could definitely be better.
And I don't just mean like they need to copy the original exactly and make that live act. No, because that we would have been complaining about that as well. I just feel like they've made changes for the sake of making changes, and it doesn't better the film.
Yeah, and they've made changes that actively hurt the point.
Yeah, they hurt the dramatic message of the whole shebang. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this and want to see more of my content, please like and subscribe.
Woo!
Woo!
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Our next movie review is Elio, so stick around if you want to hear our thoughts and feelings on that. Bye everyone!